Hey people, how are you? So this is a new tutorial to make the UV of the cat, and we all have the cat 3D model in the shared folder of the lesson, and it's called Neko no UVs. So to import it in your Maya scene, you just have to take it and drop it in the Maya window, and you have it there. Bam. So to begin with, one thing I like to do is to soften, you know, the you know the mesh, so it looks less, you know, tessellated is the term. But you see all these kind of squares, they're not nice. So to do that, you do to mesh display soften edge, and this will make it a bit more nice to look at. So to start with the UVs, we all know that we need to go to the UV and then UV editor. And the UV editor in your place, well, in every computer, I think will look like this. I think you should have the UV. Oh, it's so big. You should all have the UV toolkit on the right. I think is basically you can have in the UV toolkit the main tools you need to do UVs. Instead of going here, cut, modify, you can have it here. But I don't know. I do it from here. So when we are in this situation, we got our UV editor and the cat model in the scene. We need to do, some UV work, but we cannot do it if we, you know, we don't have anything here. So how do we start? We need to create something to start our work with. This is a regular workflow. I learned it myself from other people that were doing the same. I think it's pretty much the standard of how you begin working and doing UVs. So you need to select the cat and it gets all green like this, and then you need to create camera paste, and that's it. That's all good. So now we need to do, we need to do the UVs. And what are UVs? Again, we repeat it so many times. UV is a bidimensional, or 2D if you prefer, representation of a 3D object. So we need to cut this thing, these elements of the 3D model, and we need to make them flat, so we can then paint some texture on top of it with Substance or with any other texturing software, or even add the materials created inside Maya or anything. We need to have UVs. So to have UVs, you need to have, as I said, a flat representation of this cat, and we need to do it thinking about, dividing it in strategic places. So one of these will be to start uh, with the left paw, and let's then take the left paw away from the model, well, from the shell, because now we have one UV shell. You see, if you go right click UV shell, you select it and you have one. If you do W to move, it's gonna, we are able to move it. So we need to divide it in different shells. So let's begin. One shell is gonna be the left paw. I think he's on his left, yeah. So let's do it. I do right click edge, and then now we need to be careful about what we select, because I like to do double click, but see what happens. That edge gives me a loop that goes all over here, and I don't want that. So that's not a good edge to select in this case. We need to try with another one. I'll double click on this one, and yeah, you see this one is already good. It's already maybe half the work. It kinda divide the cat, the paw, I mean cut away the, until here, so which is like half the job we need to do. And when we have this, um, selection, sorry, we do cut, seal, and cut. And here in your UV editor, you should see a white line appearing. This means that there is a cut going on, so these are not together anymore. But it's not enough, because this is still one single shell, so we need to keep going. So let's see if I do double click here and it goes there. I think it's cool. So I'll do a cut and I work my way like this. I don't want to do too much selection, going all over, you know, keep going and selecting everything and then do one cut, because you know you could, you know, miss it, select something else, you could, you know, some weird things could happen and you could lose your selection. So it's always good to, you know, go you know, gradually. So let's see, I double click on this one and you see it goes where it shouldn't. So let's see if I double click this one, where does it go? Again, it goes all the way here and it's not what I want. So let's see this one. I know it was the wrong one. So now it's time to do some different selection. Double click won't help me. I tried to do double click here and I was lucky, so I could be quick, and double click as well here and it stops there and it's fine. But here it's not working. It's going to select other things and I don't want. So we need to go gradually now. So I do like this, one click and then shift. I go here because I know it's continue until here. Shift, double click like this. I select this, shift, you see the plus icon coming, shift, and then you see where it goes, shift, double click, and I think it should be cool for now. Okay, I stop it, I do sᴜჯbsᴄɪ, cut. So now we need to basically arrive from here, you see the white lines, from here to here, because the cut need to, you know, close the loop. So I go here, select this, shift, double click this one, and this one. I think it should be okay. Actually, you know what? I'd like to do something else. I go over, I go on, and I do a different thing. Wait. Oh no, sorry. Because I think this one is too much taking away some part of, you know, the body already, so I want to keep close. I prefer this one. So let's see how do we fix this situation, because I changed my mind after. It's something that can happen very often. So I select, shift. Yeah, this is I like it more. And then I do sᴜჯbsᴄɪ, cut. But now we are in this situation. I've got an extra cut. I don't want this. So let's try a double click. Perfect. Shift. And then I do sᴜჯbsᴄɪ. So we remove that cut, you see? Take a look. Now it's all white here and I don't want it. It's extra work. It's an extra cut. And then I do sᴜ. So I think this one is looking better to me. It's more like, you know, consistent with the shape. So I do from here, or here is the same UV shell here, or here UV shell. And now we can unfold it. Unfold. And we have it here. That's cool. That's enough. If you want, if you're really picky, you could do another cut here, UV shell, and then give it another unfold. Sorry, before I did with the shortcut, I'm sorry. Modify, unfold. You see, I think it's more relaxed now. So let's keep going. We did the arm is cool. Now let's do the this thing, the collar. Double click, let's see what this double click gives me. It goes all the way until here. Nice, that's cool. sᴜჯbsᴄɪ, cut. And we have basically one done. Now the bottom one I think is gonna be a bit more tricky, because there is the color to take in consideration. So let's see if I do a double click from here. Maybe it's good. Let me try another double click here, so I can connect these two there. And then I do like this. Shift, click. So you see I'm constantly adding to my selection, but I'm working very precisely edge by edge to make sure I'm selecting what I want. In this case I probably go back, because I prefer to select this edge at this point. This one like this. Oh, sorry. Shift, I keep going with shift, you see? No, let me go here. I want to keep as close as possible with the shape, you know? I want really to be there. I don't want to go, because this is still the color, isn't it? And this is, starts being this kind of medallion he has. Oh, not the medallion, I don't know, this kind of thing. So, I do now, I'm happy with this selection, I do cut. That's cool. So you see, we now need to keep going until we arrive here. So we have the this kind of thing, the color away. So let's see what happens if I do a double click on this one. It selects an extra edge there, but I think it's an easy fix, and it goes all the way till here. But you see, I don't like that edge too much. I prefer this one for the color, to be honest. And it stops there. I think this is alright. I think it's okay. So I do cut. So you see, it's a bit of a guessing work. You need to go back and forth. But you see, it's not closed. The loop is not closed. It needs to continue until the other cut. Cut. Double click. Let's see what's happening. And it goes there. It's alright. I deselect this with shift. So you see, shift you can add or remove. If you go with shift over an edge you already selected, you got a minus. If you go to an edge that is unselected, you got a plus. So now if I do cut, I should have my shell. If no, I don't have it. You see, there is probably one that is not separate, and let's find out. You see here, you see, even for one you cannot have your separate shell. So UV shell, I have it, or you can select it from here, UV shell, and bam, sorry, bam, we have it. So let's try to do an unfold, modify unfold. Nice, looking nice. I prefer it to be horizontal, but let's try with an optimize. No, optimize doesn't do much. So I think this is the color for us. For this demonstration is gonna be okay. So let's do the head now, okay? We got the head now. Let's see with a right click edge, let's see a double click what gives me. Okay, it goes already away, but I like the fact that the cut goes, you know, in the middle of the head. Let's try with this one rather. It goes all the way. Actually, this one is nice, it's not bad. But you see how much I select extra. And I don't want to make a cut here. But at the same time, I don't want to deselect with shift these dudes. I mean, it's too much. So, I teach you a trick. Let's detect the good edge. This is, you know, in line with the good, you know, part I want to cut. But as we said, a double click won't work because it's gonna select extra edges. You see, it's gonna select the paw, and I already did it, and I'm happy with it. Why do I want an extra cut there? I don't want it. So let's detect this edge and find it in the UV space. In UV space, you need to be good at here with your eyes. You need to find it. So in UV space is here, you see? And take a look if I do double click in UV space. It's basically gonna end where the shell is ending, because UV space takes in consideration the shells, not the 3D model. While if you do a selection in the 3D viewports, the selection is gonna take in consideration the 3D model, not the shells. So in this case, it's very handy for me because I do cut, and take a look. Oh, sorry. It was the wrong edge apparently. I am pretty sure this thing was continuing, isn't it? This is lame. Sorry. Was it this one? Okay, this one goes all the way. Okay, this one is good. So let's detect the same approach. It's here. I go nice and close, double click in the UV space, and it gives me a nice selection, and the selection ends here. Perfect. Cut. Now I just need to add that extra couple of edges, 3 edges, to finish my loop. So you see, easy, quick work. Cut. And now I think I should have 2 different shells. You see, 1 and 2. So I select both, modify, unfold. And I put them nice and horizontal. And I will learn later why we need that. I think they should be like this. Cool. Okay, so arm is done, collar is done. Now we have the body, and for the body, the first thing I want to do is to cut away the base, the flat surface. So let's see with a double click what's happening. This is amazing. One single loop. Huh? Cool. Katsu cut. Let's go to UV shell and take a look. Beautiful. We got, you know, the S of the Neko. Cut away. Modify, unfold. Bam. Let's do like this. Bam. We have it. Take a look. Our nice UV shells are not. This is not a proper layout. After we're gonna do the layout, but you know, to work, I'm cool for now. They stay here, nice, and they look at what I'm doing here, like some sort of, you know, crowd cheering for me in my UV life. So let's do the other paw. Sorry my pronunciation. Maybe it's, I don't know, another. I say paw, but yeah, you know what I mean. So let's see a double click here. What's happening? I'm cool, but see the same situation goes all the way, and I already did the UV here. I'm cool with the UV there. Why do I want another cut? I don't want another cut. So same thing, I detect one edge on the loop I want in the part I want to cut, not the one I don't want to cut. And that loop, if you press F, you can frame on it, you see? Also in 3D works the same way. F, I frame it. Is this one. So double click and see, it ends right there. Super cool. Super easy. Katsu cut. I think this is one click job. Or two clicks rather. Ah no. Damn. What's happening? You see those two final edges ruin my, you know, work. My, you know, for one edge actually. Katsu cut. So now we have a shell. I don't like this. Okay, like this looks better. So we got our, let's unfold it. Okay, so we can add it to our crowd, to our like a trophy. Let's put it horizontal as in the model, and I will explain later why. So now we just got basically this big chunk. Ah, what a story. What is this? We got an extra cut here. Select these two. Katsu. Nice. So let's do the medallion. I'm not happy. Probably this line was a bit better to do the medallion, but it's fine. Let's try. Let's see. Double click. Double click gets me there. Shift. Then I go here. Double click. Shift. Double click. Shift. Katsu cut. UV shell. Ah, there is something left. Ah, it's here, you see. Right click, edge. Katsu cut. UV shell. Bam. We have the medallion. Unfold. Oh, sorry, this is the shortcut. Modify, unfold. Bam. So you see, it's very repetitive work at the end. So the body now. Not the body actually. This kind of a plate kind of thing. I don't know how you can call it. Let's try a double click because I'm super late. I want this to be done soon. I got other things to do. Look at this, perfect. One double click gives me almost everything. Another click. Let's see if this time I'm right. This should be a maybe 3-click situation. Ah, all the time like this. Ah, you see? Right click, always one left. Katsu, cut, done. Bam. Then you do modify, unfold. Nice. Nice situation. We put it horizontal. I think it should be like this, horizontal. Yeah, cool. So there is gonna be a bit of distortion here. It's not gonna be perfect because this, you see, is very distorted, but it's fine in this case. Okay, you could try to do an optimize and run it a few times with G, repeat last action, and you see it's kind of calculating the best unfold. It's kind of it's not an unfold. It's like optimize. Is here optimize. You use it to kind of get your unfold a bit better, but you cannot take a shell like this and do optimize. It won't work. You need to already have the unfold done. So I think like this should be okay for this is all good. So the only thing that's left is the big body, isn't it? This kind of, and I already know I want to cut here and then just unfold it. So same thing, if I do a double click, it gives me more and I don't want it. So I select one edge and then I frame is this one, and then I just double click on it and see it goes from here to here where I want it. Cut, cut, bam, finish. Right click, UV shell, unfold, modify, unfold, and this is good, this is cool, this is all good. So layout, we know that as a proper workflow to put your asset in your texturing program like Substance Painter and do the texture to then import it in your 3D scene or your game engine, you need a layout. This is not good. What is this? This is all messed up. I was working and it was good till I was working, but now I need to do a layout. A layout is basically fitting all your shells into this square space. This is the UDIM basically. It's called UDIM. It's a UV portion. There are so many, and for like VFX movies that have really high resolution characters, they have, for one asset, they have all of these UVs, so they can have really high resolution textures. But for this cat, for what we need to do, one is more than enough. So I teach you a trick. You select everything and you do modify, layout, and then you got all your shells in this, situation. So my layout is a bit different. Why? Because I did some modification. So take a look, modify, layout, and you press this square, you get some option. So my options are basically 2K, texture map resolution is 2K, then I got shell padding is 10 and tile padding is 10. So I know my shells are gonna be 10 pixels separated from each other. This will give some breathing space, to do our paint work in Substance Painter. And we're gonna see why I'm saying this. Like this doesn't, saying it in this situation doesn't really make sense, but we're gonna see it later. And yeah, texture map resolution 2K, and shell padding and tile padding. So shell padding is the distance between shells, like this. The algorithm, the math behind this is doing the best to keep all the shells 10 pixels separated from each other, while tile padding is still 10 and is the distance from the shell to the border, to the UV border here, the limit. If you cross the limit, is not good. If you bring it to Substance Painter, Substance will really complain about it. If you also in Substance Painter have a shell on top of the other shell, Substance will really complain about it. You're gonna paint on top of two shells at the same time. It's not good. So you want everything to be very tidy and organized. If you want, you can even space them out a bit more to, let them breathe, but even what I had before was working. So it was ready, production ready to get into the texture, process. So like this looks cool. This is good, UV layout. Let's do the checkerboard, and we see that all the squares are there. Not too much distortions, except here, but it's alright. Take a look, super nice. This is cool. This can go to Substance Painter, okay? Which is the topic for the next tutorial, possibly. Okay, hope this was helpful. This UV process at the end is very repetitive. It's not something that requires a lot of like being super, smart or, so much effort. At the end it's very repetitive. You can do it listening to music or do something else at the same time at the end, because it's all about analyzing your model and understand where the cut should go. That's it. That's all about it. Okay, so cool, we got the UVs. Let's do the texture now, alright, which is the topic for the next tutorial. Have a good day.